Hey guys, Gabriel came here. Another lesson with how to lose belly fat and get six-pack abs. And today, as you can probably see on the board here, we are talking about how long does it take? How long does it take to lose the fat around the belly? How long does it take to see my abs? I'm impatient. It's such a common question that people have, and rightfully so, right? You want to know and you want to have some reassurance that it's working and that you're on your way to your goals. Well, I'm just chilling here with me, myself, and obviously my little buddy Jax over here. He's my little personal trainer, so he's just chilling out right now. He's a little tired. So if he comes into the video at some point, you'll know why. And then our other little one, Layla's walking around on the floor somewhere, so she might pop up. But anyway, let's get down to the nitty-gritty here. Let's get down to what matters to you most. Okay, so how long does it take to lose belly fat and get a nice defined flat stomach? Well, the answer is that it depends, okay? It's going to depend on a couple factors. We're going to be talking about four main factors today. Your body type, which is obviously heavily influenced by genetics. We talked a little bit about it in the first lesson. We're going to be looking at, so we talked about body type, we're going to be looking at fat cells, we're looking at diet, and obviously exercise. Those are four main factors that are going to influence your ability to lose weight and lose it quickly, right? And specifically see the definition you want to see in your midsection. So let's look at these body types first. So there's three main classifications of body types, and they are ectomorphs, mesomorphs, and endomorphs. Now, I apologize for my beautiful artistic skills. I don't mean to offend anyone, I don't mean to glamorize anyone, but basically I just wanted to get the message across with these drawings. Ectomorph is a tendency to be naturally slim, never really has a problem with weights, or losing weight I should say. They're very slim. I would be more of an ectomorph, right? I have a tough time gaining weight, I have a tough time putting on muscle, but it's very easy for me to lose weight, especially if I miss a couple meals and whatnot. So ectomorphs are generally skinny, high energy, just very kind of ectomorphy. Hopefully that makes sense. The mesomorphs are your 100-meter sprinters, right? Your Arnold Schwarzeneggers. These are the guys that, again, high metabolisms like the ectomorphs, but now they have an easier time to put on muscle mass. So they get nice round bellies of nice round muscle bellies and able to put on muscle mass fairly easily. Gaining weight for them is fairly easy. Gaining muscle is fairly easy. Losing fat is fairly easy for them as well because they have more muscle, which means they have a higher basal metabolic rate, which means they burn more calories. So these guys are, I guess, lucky if you want to call it that when it comes to getting the definition and having muscle at the same time. Now the endomorphs, when it comes to losing fat, are really on the, they have the short end of the stick, and I will be honest with you, if you are an endomorph is somebody who is a little bit more round, has an easier time to hold on to fat, a tougher time losing it, and there can be some association with low thyroid function, which also decreases your metabolism, which furthers this whole weight gain and weight loss issue. So if you are an endomorph, and I know several people or a lot of people who want to lose weight are in that category, this is very important to pay attention to. This whole series is very important to pay attention to, because it's important to realize that depending on which body type you predominantly exhibit, now remember, we're not just one or the other, we're really a combination of all three. So it depends on where you are on the scale, but if you're leaning towards endomorphy, right, if you're more of an endomorph, realize that it's going to require a lot more work and diligence than somebody who's an ectomorph if you want to lose fat and see definition, okay? So you really have to understand the difference there. For me, if I want to lose body fat and see you can see my muscle definition, no problem, but ask me to put on a couple inches in my biceps. Now we're going to be talking about 24/7 in the gym, serious workouts. So it takes a lot of hard work. The same thing with an endomorph. If you want to lose weight, it's going to take a lot of hard work because you're working against your body's nature to some degree. Now, having said that, it can be done. And there are millions of people around the world who do that all the time. So if you are in that category, do not put your head down. You can do it. And we're going to show you over these videos how you can. So we talked about body types. Now, the importance of body types is that with regards to diet and exercise, we're going to talk about that in a second, it's going to kind of fluctuate. It's going to depend on where you are and then how you need to adjust each of those appropriate variables. The one I want to talk to you about first though is fat cells, and we talked about in the, I believe this is the second video lesson, we talked about fat cells and fat cell receptors, and today I want to specifically talk about the fat cell itself. So there's fat cells, also known as adipocytes, right? Basically they're fat storage tanks. They hold onto fat as stores for energy. And as we talked about the receptors, with certain receptors, the good ones, hormones will come in and allow hormone-sensitive lipase to break down that fat into fatty acids to be, taken out into the blood. So I'm just going to bring up Layla here. She's chewing at my little foot here. So this is Layla. Hey Layla, say hi. Okay, I'm just going to put you back there. Okay, so hormone-sensitive lipase would be activated, release the fatty acids into the blood, then it can be utilized for energy. Now, the fat cells in general, it was actually recently discovered, I believe it was 2007 that they discovered a adipose gene, right? So a gene that determines really your fat cell makeup. And fat cells, everyone has them, right? And in general, an adult has about 30 billion fat cells, which is obviously quite a lot when you think about it. But the body needs them, I guess, for some reason. So the common thinking was you're born, based on your genetics, once again, you're born with a set number of fat cells. And again, recently, there's been some new research that is showing that this might not be the case. Now, in general, if you are a healthy weight adult, right, you will have acquired all of your fat cells by the time you've hit puberty. That's really the closing window for any new fat cells to develop. And that's if you're a healthy and relatively lean adult, you're going to have your same fat cells, the same number of fat cells throughout your life. Now, if you excessively put on weight, even in your adult years, the new research is showing that these fat cells can grow up to 4-fold and begin to multiply. And that is a very, very scary concept. Because instead of having 30 billion, you might have 40 billion or 50 billion or whatever it might be if you're gaining weight excessively in your adult years. So it's not necessarily that you're fixed with the number of fat cells depending on where you are in terms of your lifestyle and ability and if you've put on a lot of weight. It's a very important consideration to keep. I mean, that's just another reason to lead an active lifestyle and stay fairly fit and healthy. You don't need more fat cells, right? Basically how fat cells operate is, think of a balloon. If you fill a balloon up with water, it expands, right? As soon as you take the water out, it will contract back to its, whittled size. And that's exactly what happens with fat cells. They don't disappear, right? But now, as we've seen, they can multiply. So be wary of that. So, like with water balloons, they can expand and expand and expand, but apparently now they can expand to such a degree that they can begin to multiply, which is something we don't want to really get into. So again, fat cells, they're not going away, they're there. The key is to diminish what's in them by using their fat stores for energy purposes, and that's why exercise is so important. Now, another component with the fat cells is that fat stores acid in the body, and this is another really important reason to alkalize your diet. If you've read my book, Eating for Energy, I talk a lot about this, the importance of alkalinity in your diet. If your fat cells are holding onto a lot of acid, it's going to be very, very tough for your body to get rid of your